My name's Jonathan Helgesen. I work as a transition specialist for the Utah Schools for the Deaf and Blind. DeafTown or BizTown is an event where we have a faux village or town with a lot of different stores and shops set up. It's modeled after the real world, our local communities, and gives the students an experience of how money is ran, how businesses are ran, finances are ran, in addition to operating in roles as CEOs, mayors, and things like that, and having to delegate responsibilities. It's a very, very rich experience for the students because it exposes them to things that they wouldn't typically get experience with while they're in the school setting. Being in this setting really helps them get a taste of reality and life. And this is how this works, and this is how that works, and this is how I have to budget my money, earn money, and budget it out. How do I write a check? How do I balance a checkbook? These are all skills that come into play. Michelle Tanner has told me when I was first hired in this role, she told me, Jonathan, I trust you. Do what needs to be done. And if you see something that's working, keep doing it. If you see something that's not working so great, change it up. Make it better. And she's really given me that creative freedom. And I put my hands to the rubber and the steel and really just started working. And if something doesn't work, we think about how to change that. And I collaborate with my team members, and it really just boils down to that teamwork. It's really the best approach. I do want to emphasize that this doesn't come down to just me. This requires a village. I've got a whole team of staff under me. I've got actually 5 staff members under me that work as job coaches. They're wonderful people, and they really get the job done. What I have been doing typically consists of 3 main areas. I have 3 main roles I work in. One role is to focus on transition. The second role is to work with our staff under Adam Billings to develop our outreach programs and transition content for our online courses and outreach programs. And that's coming down in the near future. My third role involves some responsibility for our after-school activities. Those are the bulk of my work, those 3 different roles. I'll go ahead and explain a little bit more about my role as a transition specialist. Being a transition specialist requires a lot of different aspects. I have to focus on building and networking in the deaf community, which is something I did last year. So I'm continuing those efforts to make sure that we can find days and resources where we can have the deaf community come together for the benefit of our students. That's one thing I'm very excited about. And DeafTown is definitely one of those big aspects. Another part of that role is focusing on our annual college and career fair. I've been spearheading those efforts to get all of our students, not only in Salt Lake City, but across all campuses, to come together and learn more about their future and get a feel for what college they may want to go to one day. And not only colleges, but we also explore a lot to do in the career field as well, different jobs and places of employment that they may be interested in. My goal with these students, perhaps we have a student that wants to become a vet or a medical doctor. I will try and locate someone who is actually deaf themselves that works in that role. So for example, last year I found a doctor who is deaf and was actually here in Utah, which was surprising to me. So I brought them in to have everyone see this individual who was successful and professional and say, look, you're deaf, they're deaf, you can do this. The sky's the limit. There's no boundaries to that. I want to be able to show to these students that the potentials are limitless.